deserve that respect. OpTic has never lost a revenge match. OpTic has never lost to an NA team in an opening match of playoffs, and they've done it twice. So, starting things off on Haven, and XSET have been here before. They've beaten them twice in their past 2 games against them. And that was both in the NA playoffs to get here to this stage.
I'm out of here.
See if there's an opportunity to break that narrative, to break the streak. Again, 6-0, a perfect record, entirely unblemished when it comes to taking a second dance after losing the first. And if you've been watching OpTic, at least in this tournament, you probably shouldn't be surprised at the pace at which they're playing this out, at least on attack. They like to go nice and slow, test out the waters, and then decide where they want to strike.
Well, it's been really interesting actually watching them specifically at this event with this Neon comp, which is very old. They've actually injected multiple pace changes, right? A lot of time it was actually Victor going very fast down A-long, those sorts of things. But now they've slowed down. And look, they pushed XSET off with the amount of time pressure that they're putting on them. 35 seconds left, and they're hitting the site. This is going to be a 5v5 retake to start things off.
30 seconds left.
Spike just now making its way in, and you see Victor pushing forward into that smoke, so see if they're able to clear him out. This spot right here has caused so many problems historically. Excellent little crossfire setup out from OpTic. Dev drops his utility, and they swing right into it. First 2 kills go in favor of OpTic. The third follows shortly thereafter. As Victor repositions, tries to find some space. Aaron's left alone, and he's not going to be able to do much. OpTic takes the pistol.
And that was a great play there. They're expecting the breach fault line to come in. They're expecting some utility, and OpTic is trying to stay ahead of it, but Victor swings with that timing, completely interrupting the play that they wanted to go for, which was second dashing out on site, and he was just kind of stuck while the rest of his team was dying behind him.
Let's see if XSET choose to buy up here after losing the initial round. And again, Ball, I think that is something we need to keep in mind, because as much as when you talk about Neon, the first thing that comes to mind is speed.
Yeah.
Right, and that's such a stark contrast to how we have seen them operate in this competition.
It's
like
what's exciting about Neon.
Yeah.
Like, it's just what's exciting about Neon and what makes her good. But you have to inject. I think you have to evolve like this when you're going to play one of these comps. At least if you're not Paper Rex, right? When you don't have that ability to just go, you have to have these evolutions of, we're going to slow things down. We're going to use the Neon very strategically. Actually, you already noticed some a difference in that execute on the A site. When there was low utility, when Victor did not have the wall, for example, he's using the stun that bounces off backside and short, which is not something they had in their arsenal.
Look at that, we're lucky. We got out of that one quick. Look at us. Tech issue has been figured out. Now we can get back into the action. Again, we were chatting on whether or not XSET would choose to buy up. They decide not to here. Zekin has a ghost, but that is it.
There goes for the ghost, not the sheriff. It looks like XSET want to walk down middle here at a certain point.
Oh, early flash. BCJ's been found. Spectre not going to land the initial shots. The flash goes back, and it actually pushes him back with it.
And they're hard rotating right now. XSET trying to get a gamble stack on where OpTic want to push, but with that smoke down, there's no chance that they're going to push through there. So OpTic pivoting, and XSET is going to have to play catch-up. Yeah, in a great spot with his rendezvous too.
Timing not on his side as he pulls the utility back, tries to join up with the rest of his team. And you see once again, OpTic are in this death ball on the other side of C-Long, but if this rotation continues, there's actually going to be fight in spawn. He's the only one who's turned around waiting for it. And again, does the timing not go by his side? They're literally wrapping around right behind him. They know he's there.
They're going to be here so fast after taking down Ye. Right into garage, but they pull the trigger and go.
And it's actually worth noting, the trigger was pulled by Cryo. They want to prioritize getting him ahead, getting him rolling. Spike landed here again, advantage in favor of XSET, not necessarily on their side. Even if he is the one that dies, it's not like you can pick any of that advantage back up. They're finally making their way out. Now you see the flashes swing through, and the kills go back and forth, at least for now. But Crashies from backside gets 3. A dash in the face as Zekin tries to take care of him. It was fun, it was flashy, but it ultimately doesn't pan out their way. OpTic gets the second.
And there's just no space in the back of sight there. What XSET did. They actually sent Zekin all the way back through spawn to make sure that there's nobody from OpTic pushed up because they lost that space.
Yep.
But obviously that cost time. And they're not able to actually glean any information about what the setup is on site. So Crashes gets baited essentially, and he nets a 4K because of it. And that was a man down situation. It was just pistols. Now we get the bonus.
And now we see some pace. Second has to dash away. They're getting a little crowded. They're bumping into each other, and Def falls.
And that's just a taste of the aggressiveness on A-Long that they can put on. And XSET relies on first kills. Their 5v4 conversion rates, very, very solid. Some of the best coming into this event.
OpTic choosing to revisit where they just were. Again, worth mentioning, Def died early on in that little scuffle just outside of A-Long. But OpTic doubling down. VCJ slips into the smoke, 51 HP. He gets spammed right through. The guy never had a chance to fight back.
This A-site push is looking very solid, but Zekin has something to say about this. He takes down Ye.
He's just so weak, man. And it's a 2v4.
And Surprise just nowhere near.
Yeah.
He's just like ready to save. Whether or not Zekin got anything done from the heavens.
So OpTic here should coast their way to the third round. Great start for them. We've seen injection of pace. We've seen slow and methodical. And we're already seeing some of the diversity in their playbook. Haven was the map, as we mentioned, that XSET was able to pull out over OpTic. So this is a great start for the Green Wall.
When I was looking at this map pool, I was concerned for OpTic.
Yeah,
in the sense that
yeah.
These are the maps that XSET have been working them on, like specifically this matchup. And OpTic is happy to get 2 of those maps into the pool. The only one that's kind of favoring OpTic is Ascent, and they only won that 13-11 when they played last. So when I look at it, I'm scared. But then again, OpTic is one team that will always continuously work on a specific set of maps. They never actually go for that 7-map pool, even though it appears right now that they were going for it at the beginning of this event. The desk expressed some surprise about the Icebox ban, for example. But also, it gives XSET a false sense of security because XSET's not going towards their strengths, like Split. They're actually going towards what they believe they're better at against OpTic. You wouldn't see them big Haven against other teams.
And you're right, I think at least early on it certainly has been a false sense of security. But again, time is short. Zekin gets a great opener. I believe, no, there were only 2 rifles on the side of XSET. Light by the rest of the way, and they're able to find some value out of it early on.
Shot backside, right back to try to get a little bit more of the utility and silence that's caused. And it cost them. This light buy that XSET is putting together is really working well.
Finesse picks up the op that Ye just dropped.
But OpTic still has this X Factor right here, Mark. He's so good at making situations uncomfortable, and he's going to smoke, potentially block a possible trademark. Or just create a possibility for XSET to say, hey, I need to peek this for information.
Yeah.
Is he walking into the site?
And that's why you see, yep, you see VCJ starting to push in from A side.
He just flashed into the smoke, and I'm not sure if he knew that that smoke was there, so the information might be really bad here for XSET.
How patient is Def? You see him tucked in the corner. Marv staring right at him. A smoke on the other side while the rest of the spike and the rest of the players get onto A. And they're getting the kills they need. Def fell mid. Aaron falls on A as well. The spike goes down.
They've evened things out, but the big problem here is Cryo and Sewers.
It's a slow, quiet.
Oh, the one-way's missed.
Lurk. Marv still holding single. They certainly hear him coming around. And Worth Finesse is still playing on long. Kills go back and forth. Zekin in this 1v2. Again, so far, so weak, so out of time. He gets it to a 1v1. Can Finesse win this out? He has an op. Zekin goes up top. No gun fired. Swings around. Taps. But he's literally just on the other side, and he had the op as a primary, but it was the classic that cleaned things up. OpTic get to 4.
Called the HP situation. on second, and that was marvelously played from the 3 members of OpTic alive in that 3 versus 5. That is not a round that you should be losing as XSET. And just a number of unlucky things happening in that round. Victor, for example, the dash, just completely messing up the crosshair placement of the player on Hay, who ended up falling to him, and then the Marv situation at all with the information. He just crossed into B. Thankfully, there's still 2 ultimates here for XSET. Second and Cry have gotten their ults up, and the rest of them are just going to force.
Early roll thunder. Out from Finesse. But it's a fake. They're actually rotating mid. They understand that's likely where the fight is. The Trailblazer, they're actually going to pass right by each other. As Finesse tries to get the plant down, Flash goes up. Op now holding the angle second with the Blade Storm, trying to get backside as the rest of the members of OpTic scurry away, try to find safety with the exception of Finesse, who's still there, at least he was a moment ago. Right between the eyes. You're right. Marv's going to get the timing here. It falls. Second.
Sticking.
He's gotten it to half. He's going to be able to get it all the way through. Oh my gosh, he might be able to get it all the way through. Marv's timing is gorgeous. A 3v3 here. Jeff's gotten it the rest of the way, though. Oh! Unreal.
Yay! Almost gets them! Right before the defuse comes through. And that's the round that XSET win. I saw OpTic go for that B play after the Rolling Thunder, and I said, XSET very, very strong. That B retakes, 50% success rate. But that round, I thought, no way.
Oh my gosh. The crazy thing is, Ye gets the kill on the diffuser before getting the kill on BCJ, who was standing in front of it. Insane timing.
Let's play.
Tour de Force used. XSET on the board. Rifles, operators, the whole shebang here. Trailblazer's going to be the first to go. Victor working his way forward. And how do you deal with that? You've got flashes, you have relay bolts going as well. You have a good idea where BCJ is, and Aaron Zekin swinging up. Well, gets one of the kills. As nobody can see a dang thing on that site, man. But even through all of that, OpTic get the numbers. They're getting the kills, and they're getting the plants.
The amount of flanks that OpTic have been pulling out in these last 2 series, maybe 3 series even, the series against Loud potentially as well. They're getting so many flanks from every player on their team. Marv, Ye, Finesse, consistently getting into places that I could never imagine defense letting them into.
It's just so smothering, right? Because you have that factor that you were just talking through, the fact that you've got to be checking your 6 at every single moment. And while you're worried about that, you've got Victor, who's just dashing forward into your face.
Cryo really close here to Marv's position. But the rest of the team is not hunting. They're just going for Marv and just get spotted by the trademark. He's going to fall. Well played from Cryo to stay aware this entire time of possibilities. But OpTic immediately reset XSET here. And they already lost a lot of players on that round where they stuck the defuse. So this economically is going to hurt a lot. That was the first time OpTic went for the C split, the patented OpTic C split, and Victor just got so much value out of the double stun that he sent out.
He has his ultimate here too, and a Spectre.
It's basically layered spawn and close logs. And this time Cryo again getting stunned. He's going to TP out immediately, not give up a first kill.
And off of that, man, the rotations, you see it, they already head back over A. You've got Zekin who's joined over. Def was still here. Spike actually moving away. They just dropped it in Swamp.
Oh, he spotted it fast. Hoping to set up a little trap there with the judge. But Aaron just with a classic now, able to break the Trailblazer.
Aaron perhaps expecting aggression on the other side of that flash. Isn't met with any of it.
This is a good peek for Cryo here against Victor. He has his TP back up. And he just spotted the leg.
How did that not hit? That buzzed right by his ear. And now here comes that ultimate, the paranoia initially. Zekin having to dash away, now crashes, pushes his way forward. It was actually Victor who followed shortly after, but they're getting the kills that they need.
30 seconds left.
This smoke that XSET is putting on site is actually kind of punishing them with the execute that OpTic is putting out. They are so diligent about sending util into that smoke. That Aaron is having a tough time battling into it. And they're hunting the op that Cryo saved last round. But it might actually cost OpTic here. Their bank is not that big. And VCT actually has a one-on-one on the site right now.
Player standing.
Oh, and there's time.
Surely not.
Are they going to be able to get back
They're
in time?
nowhere near him.
Vanessa's here in sewers.
They don't
He's
know.
running. He's running.
Does he have any util? No, he doesn't have any util. Oh my gosh. Not even close. Not even close.
Moments away from a ninja defuse. And this NA Classic, I don't think I've seen that in NA in years.
How close was that? We have to see how close it was. XSET calling a timeout here as they try to regain composure. While again, I'm really just interested in how close that was. I just want to see it again.
And that was a great play for BCJ. Just go for it. Obviously, just had a judge. Here we go. Finesse. There's the shot. Oh my god. Wow. Just wow. I cannot believe that. Oh, that hurts, man. You're so close.
I will.
Such a good play.
I will say though, Ball, is there any element of concern to the fact that these are the rounds that XSET are able to put together? Is that one that almost went through? You think about the one round they did get?
Yeah, of
kind
course.
of similar as far as situation goes.
Yeah, I mean, that's a sign that things are. You're getting lucky in certain instances, but most of the time, OpTic is battering you with the amount of map control they're taking. And these are the maps that I just love to watch from OpTic. They're so dominant. And sure, every once in a while there's a cheeky little round. It's not as intense as these always, but it is so much fun.
Dominant, probably the best way to describe what we've seen out of OpTic so far. Have to remind everyone, OpTic doesn't lose rematches very often. It seems like they approach those matches with an extra little something, a little chip on their shoulders, whatever it may be. It tends to work.
I love what Victor just tried to do right there. Just tucking himself in the left side of Garage to potentially find a timing if somebody missteps.
Oh, let's see if we can find him though. Oh, very well done.
Okay, last time XSET got an advantage like that, I ended up getting another kill and losing a 3v5, so Cryo does have the op posted inside of short here, but his rendezvous's not up right now, and he doesn't have the anchors placed. Actually, there's one.
And he has more.
Where's his second anchor? Oh, it's all the way to spawn. I see it now. It's just covered by Def.
Def was hiding it. You see the ping on the mini-map, you're expecting him to
BCJ, he's got a lot of space on C-Long after this pick. Obviously, OpTic is going to lose some map control, and they're taking full advantage of it.
He avoided it! Lands a shot!
30 seconds
Rolling
left.
Thunder keeps him back. And Cryo stays. Not phased by what's happening before him. You see BCJ has to wait. There's utility on the other side. There's an alarm bot. Finesse moving forward with the spike. Def playing backside. And with 13 seconds left, they're just waiting for a tap in the swing, and that might cause problems as the spike falls on the other side. They have to regain control of the site, and it's not happening. There's no one there. Ye gets the kill, but the spike is not going to be planted. The round, is going to go in favor of XSET.
And they don't chase, actually, to try to get this op out of Ye's hands, but money looking really rough for them the amount of times that they're getting chased down. And that's a great round. We just talked about dominance from OpTic, but that was really, really well played. The original pick in Garage after Victor was maybe getting a little greedy, staying his welcome too much. And second punishes him as the smoke fades. And as Victor says, I should probably leave.
This feels like a good time to go. He even dropped the relay bolt to try to give him some sort of cover, but you're right, ultimately gets punished.
They might go for a fast C-split here. Victor looks like he's paired up with Crashies to get into Garage fast.
Flash goes mid, the Trailblazer, and Victor follows. In close pursuit, but there's excellent utility out from Def to delay things, at least for a moment. You also have Zekin, who's tucked just on the other side of C-Long.
Ooh, very interesting. TP spotted. Yeah, they've gotten beat.
Aaron falling. And you're right, they have full control of B. Marv hopping all over the place.
No charges.
They have control of the site, the spike's going to go down.
The amount of manipulation OpTic does when they initially get stalled out, which was great from XSET, that paranoia to actually push Victor back. Gives so much space for Marv to make those plays with his TP.
Cryo had made it through, he'd taken some space, and Zekin's trying to do the same. There was a flank coming in from both sides of the map, and it's Zekin who slipped the net! What a shot out from Ye. What a reaction.
Player standing.
OpTic just continue to pick XSET to shreds, man.
CJ close here against Marv. Try to go for something more. But nothing shows itself. And this is such a difference from what we saw in the prior versions of this matchup on Haven. We honestly barely saw much of OpTic's attack half because XSET was so dominant, but still, it was a problem for them. And I think the swap throughout this tournament so far with the breach for KO has worked phenomenally. It's the old version of this that they pioneered all the way back in stage 1 and at Reykjavik. But Finesse is finding a lot of value by pivoting, and I don't even get that. They're just so good.
Two teammates in front of him. He's the one who gets the kill.
Full blind through smoke.
Exactly. Again, pace, injected, Victor, forward. And you're right, he's out of there. Opener out from Ye. Numbers back in favor of OpTic. You mentioned that XSET's win percentage when they have the numbers advantage is considerably high. I can't imagine, at least in this map, their 4v5 win percentage is less than stellar. And they just keep finding themselves in this position.
The early plays that OpTic is putting out that are specifically to get early entries really well, but this time it's just XSET walking into the exit.
I was going to say, Marv may be in trouble. There are 3 who have worked their way across the middle of the map. And you still have to take care of second on site. Do they commit to A?
Yeah, he's in trouble too. He's actually holding sewers right now, but there's also players coming from behind him. So they might double peek him. There's no trademark to actually stop this, but a great aftershock to clear out that position.
Yeah. You can send 2 to try to take care of Ye. Doesn't seem to matter. With this, though, XSET are still had a shot to this. Aaron's in the smoke! Crashius was waiting for it. He was ready for it. Finesse takes care of Cryo. 8-2 in favor of OpTic.
It's not looking pretty, is it?
No, it's not.
It's looking kind of savage. And this is the same type of form that we saw from OpTic against Crew the other day. On this map as well. Against players like Kesnet. Like Casino. And XSET's duelists, I mean, they're still doing quite well. This is a pretty solid opening from them. It's not like they're going negative in any side. I mean, second is negative right now, but
it's cool.
He's getting value on
yeah.
flanks. His knives are still good. Like, there's a lot of stuff that doesn't look like nerves at all.
Really not nerves, just kind of getting beat.
Yeah.
Victor once again moves his way forward, sees what's on the other side, says, hey guys, it's clear, it's safe. With that, OpTic worked their way in, the spike goes down for Crashies.
Spike planted.
Already had his Seekers. And note the buy here on the side of XSET. You have the Bladestorm for second, a Spectre for Aaron. Got something, but not a lot. You know, perhaps maybe they don't need a lot. They're going to start to work their way forward. Zekin dashes into the cloud burst. Remember, he's got the blades. If he can go through this without taking any damage, he may have a chance at making a play. He's taking care of Crash. He tries to go up top, but he's blinded. He can't see a dang thing. And it's Aaron who's left in the 1v3.
Yeah, he just hit a nasty flick, by the way, on Zekin, who was going on top of him. Of course, he was blind by the near side. But still, yeah, there's nothing you can do there. They don't have the weapons. I do like that, actually. Yeah, the shot following up. Zekin goes up.
Yeah,
Barely even scoped.
that's pretty clear.
Barely clicked the right click. Def even had like a set aftershock lined up to fully clear Dark. And Vanessa's just avoiding everything.
Last round of the half here, XSET got enough money to bring something into this. Operator, light armor for Cryo, but guns the rest of the way. And they creep their way down into A long. You see the ult out from Aaron.
It's a fake ult to try to take the space in a lobby while everybody turns their heads to check.
And you see the pings, you see the flash. They have to confirm whether or not he stuck it.
Where at this point they've cleared everything that they should be concerned about.
They spotted Zekin. I don't think it's...
They know so... I mean, they're making the read here that they're up close in a lobby with the information that has been not given, in a sense.
The thing is, Ye has his trademark just on the other side, so this two-man push that has come out from XSET to take A main control, even if they try to push it, there's a good chance that it's found out. And if then that's not enough, Ye's still back here too. Cryo with a whole lot before him, but Victor just gets 2 massive kills across the middle of the map. You can't rotate to see. They have that covered. The trademark we were talking about, Zekin falls. VCJ trying to make something happen.
1 enemy remaining.
But there is nothing.
This is disgusting. 10-2. OpTic,
Switching sides.
they want revenge. They really do. You can tell. They say, XSET, we were supposed to be in playoffs already. We shouldn't have had to go through that group stage and prove to the world that we're still ready to go for this repeat win.
What a whooping. And it's just halftime. Real good chance this ends here very soon. Perhaps XSET can do something. Perhaps the attacking half could be more favorable for him, but the truth is OpTic just destroyed them.
That was really, really bad, but we're going to take the halftime to listen a little bit to what the desk has to say about this stomp.
I just heard that in Balla's voice, the stomp. That's what it feels like. And I think that Doug brought up a really good point. It's not nerves. Like I don't think it's nerves. I think that XSET, they're when they have the opportunities, they're playing pretty damn well. The problem is that OpTic is just not giving it to them. Just not giving it to them.
I think that's a serious problem. It doesn't feel like Zekin and Cryo are choking up there. It feels like they're getting out-called and outplayed.
Yeah, I think there's been mid-rounds where I've just seen a flank coming and I'm like, oh, XSET, they've got this. This is perfect. And then like Spidey senses just kick in for the side of OpTic and they're like, I feel like someone's flanking me right now. And they turn around at the exact right time. There's just an opportunity so many times for XSET and it's just been diminished. But there's another man who yet again on this map, yet again on Neon, has come in and shown us why he's one of the best Neons in the world.
Superpowers, Jess. This guy's the Flash. I mean, he's just running around the map. Right?
Yeah, what's awesome though is they're not just doing their classic fast play rounds. They're actually mixing in a little bit of other stuff, and that's putting more pressure on Victor, honestly. Because normally Victor's within a system. He knows the exec, he does the exec. But now actually he's been given a bit more freedom to do some of these lurky plays and other stuff. And that's where your individual game sense, like you were saying, Jess, really shines. And I think it has done here, not just for Victor, obviously, but for the whole team.
I like that he's more reactive as well, especially with these stuns. Like, he'll see Marv maybe take a pocket of the map, find that little bit of opening that XSET have left, and Marv's like, oh, guys, site's free. Like, I'm in. And he just goes, bam, within 3 seconds, his stuns are in.
And here's an example of that as well. This is a 3v5 that they managed to work. And FNS, he puts a fault line over towards B, makes it look like Marv's pushing over there, throws a flash as well. And in the meantime, Victor's just walking his way into A. Just walking in. And there's a player there, outplays Aaron, and then manages to get the plant down, and Marv's on the lurk, he gets success, and they win. And of course, this was the round where FNS ended up clutching the 1v1 as well. But they're playing their slow rounds so beautifully.
There's another layer to OpTic I didn't think I would get. I thought it would just be those smooth set plays time and time again, but to see Victor lurking by himself with the spike in his hand and still making it work, that's another layer I didn't expect.
All right, well, let's see if XSET can answer back. It's going to be a tall task. I'll send it back over to Doug and Balla.
Thank you, GB. XSET now take the attacking half on Haven here, and again, perhaps they can find some semblance of good, right? Like a sliver of positivity, because Balla, there hasn't been very much to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, bring this back a little bit before we go to the next map. Because this is a go next, you know, type of situation. But you definitely want to take your time. You want to get the players who are cold to heat up a little bit. Specifically, I'm looking at Def. I'm looking at Aaron in this situation. Not actually the duelist like the Def talked about. They're playing pretty well. It's just the calls and the reads that OpTic is putting on. The pressure that they're putting on with just time alone, in a sense. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful to watch. Even though I might sound disappointed, this is a stomp. This is still fun, man.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely is something to be said about watching greatness.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
exactly.
there's a lot to admire. And OpTic have offered plenty as far as admiring content goes. But again, XSET now on the attacking half. Maybe they can find something. You see BCJ's Trailblazer, but Crashies stands stalwart.
I mean, this is the first instance of sheepishness that I think I've seen from XSET. They are very cautious, and they haven't really found any information at all.
Now you start to see some of the smokes come through from Aaron. Now there's the fault line too. The Trailblazers are going to get clear out from Crashies, but Victor and Crashies, again, they're both back here on site. The flash, BCJ, not able to find much. Now he swings around, sees two players, and they get the kills. Now here with the 3v2 in favor of XSET. The spike's going to go down. Going to have to rotate all the way around, though, and Zekin here trying to stop the shenanigans. Gets a third on the round. The pistol seems to be going XSET's way. Unless Finesse can say something about it. It's a 1v2.
Zekin first Finesse. And he wins it again, but they just got the setup. This is not really possible here for Finesse. With the double swing, the double face, they timed that well. Just count it down. I thought it was, you know, sheepish on the approach, but as soon as the execute happened, Zekin does not look scared at all to take this site. So in reality, what they're doing, holding the space for them to be able to get close for the execute.
That's what we do, baby.
We got to run this back.
You hear it, yep.
We got to run this back.
And while, again, the deficit is large, the truth is, you've taken care of the first one.
The next step is always the most important.
Yep. And OpTic here, without much of a buy, may have a hard time fighting back here. Marv got stunned up, has to back up, space given away. XSET trying to push the middle of the map, and of course, it's Victor! At least he got one. Could have had a chance at more.
I'm more mad at XSET not checking that than anything.
Oh yeah, that too. And really, with all of the space that they had, they have to give it back up, and they're walking into some serious trouble if they choose to go garage, but it seems like a spike is going to rotate back towards A. OpTic is pushing across middle map, though.
Cover going out.
And they're waiting for it. There's a trademark there, yes, but they're also waiting for it. Trademark goes down. Def's going to get the spike down, but they also know where the pressure's likely coming from.
Great fault line. Oh, it missed!
Yeah, it didn't hit him, and they've got a good crossfire set up. Finesse is able to get one with the frenzy. Aaron with the flash, looking for blood, and he's going to find it. All of a sudden, Marv can't see a dang thing. Not able to land the shots. BCJ swings out. XSET get to 4.
But how did that fault line miss? I mean,
oh, yeah,
it looked like it was on him.
Yep.
I wonder if the... No, I have no theories this time. Usually I'm going to theorize, but no, I've got nothing. Probably just was off by a centimeter. Simplest answer. And now, the toughest of probably all of the comeback rounds in situations like this.
Yeah.
The bonus. And they don't have a single rifle. They don't have a single ult. They're going to have to brute force this with their SMGs and frenzies.
Cryo expecting someone to be pushing down around the flank, while Victor hitting a little wiggle, a little jiggle. He tries to see if anyone's coming around the corner.
Last time XSET slow pushed this A side, Ye was here really fast, but this time he doesn't have a setup to get here, so it's just on Victor and Crashies. And they could overwhelm them, especially if they double play one side.
They seem to commit here as Zekin's able to dash across the relay bolts, but Victor just runs at him and spams it in his face. But off of that, you've taken care of one problem. There's still one on the site, and that problem is Crashies.
And Cryo trying to catch the rotates as well. Marvd and Finesse have not spotted him yet, and Marvd is going through there. Meanwhile, XSET not done with the round. There's still 40 seconds, and they're happy to re-explore the map.
"30 seconds left."
Flash across middle. Nothing spotted on B.
Cryo didn't even take space with that too.
He's so patient.
So they're just feinting. This is all on Marvd, and we've seen him in a spot just like this.
Fault line's not going to hit. They walk into his crosshair. Def falls, and now the paranoia is there. Aaron should still be able to get the spike down. BCJ with the counter flash, but now the utility starts to dump. Marv creeping his way forward. Two members of XSET just on the other side, and the flank comes through, but the flank's being flanked. Look at Crashies. Yeah, Cryo might find the timing. He gets 2 big kills. But now it's on Crashies, as I was saying, the flash. He's getting spammed. He's getting slowed. He's trying to work his way forward. Once again, 23 HP, and BCJ shows up just in the nick of time. XSET get 5. That was the hard one.
That is the hardest one. It's still hard from here, but that was a great start. That's 3 rounds now in this half. And OpTic failed to hold the A push. They lose 2 players. And they're just not aware of the flanks that they were abusing so much on their own attacking half.
Okay, start fresh.
And I think that might be, honestly, a little disrespect towards XSET, right? OpTic, I mean, Def even said it in one of those interviews. He thinks that OpTic thinks that they're a walkover team. Oh, we could beat XSET. But XSET believes that's not the case, and they're here to show it with this comeback potential.
And they're certainly trying to show it here on C, as they have fully committed onto the site. Node for OpTic, no guns. But that may not matter. It's Def trying to find something. Not going to do it, though. Second stands strong. He stands firm backside as he gets 3 kills. And for the first time, this map, Signs of Life as a Prime Gaming Flawless comes through for XSET.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, this is a close game already. We're within 4.
Close-ish.
This is a close game already.
Okay.
We're within 4. OpTic can close it out and make it back to the stomp that we were expecting.
1 enemy remaining.
But the amount of rounds that they've converted now with winning the pistol, winning the bonus, winning both anti-ecos very cleanly.
What's good?
They're on their way.
OpTic calling a timeout here. You mentioned they lost the last couple of rounds. Now the previous round, as we talked about, was their pistol, but now they're on full buy. They've got the operator in the hands of Ye. We'll see what they choose to dial up. As the lead, as you mentioned, has not entirely evaporated, but it's being threatened.
I would love to hear what Finesse is thinking right now. He's great in these situations when he just needs to get a couple of rounds. His adaptations are phenomenal.
And you wonder here who on the side of OpTic can be the playmaker to kind of stop the bleeding, right? To get things back under control. You've got Victor, who has his ult in the overdrive. You've got Finesse, who has his Rolling Thunder, and then Marv, you want to point away from having that from the shadows. His ability, his playmaking ability, particularly on Omen, is so good. So you've got to keep an eye on that.
I would agree with that. And he almost had a chance there. But he's also 8-13, which is probably the worst performance from Marv's thus far, even though they're winning this game. And it's the defensive side. Much harder to find value with the Omen ult. You saw how Aaron was, he just kind of threw it out as a bait, essentially, on that first half. So we'll see. I think, yeah, the Aaron ult is almost more impactful here, just by virtue of the halves that they're on.
Yeah. And we've seen them hit a couple of A hits, and again, it's very confident when they go for it.
The important thing, I think, is when is OpTic going to catch on to these 5-man balls that XSET is putting themselves in? The flash down long for crashes there, they don't actually go and take any space from them. Victor's very well poised to just walk down, but instead, the second flash is coming way too late. So it's all Ye, and he's got nothing to do here.
Yeah, he was in a pretty different spot to begin with. But again, this is kind of what I was getting at, right? When XSET walk up to A, when you see that fault line, when you see the flash and the cloud burst, they're in, they're going. But they have that Rolling Thunder.
3 out of heaven here with this Rolling Thunder potentially. With a flash, this could be really, really good for them.
You have Cryo who's playing off site. VCJ might be able to avoid it as well. The fast lane drops down. Now comes the Rolling Thunder. Gonna go forward. Bladestorm out for a second. They tried to drop down. Victor just on the other side. Able to take her a second. Looking for more. Not able to find it. The retake attempt for now is actually holding out. It's working out just fine. The flash. Ness turns it away as Marv gets the kills they need. He gets it down to a 1v1, or excuse me, a 1v2, and there's just no way Cryo can hold up to that.
And Ye just sits there in heaven the entire time, knowing the timings of the smokes. And Marv is the guy who knows he has to make the kills. When the two players down low. That was a fantastic retake, and at this point it's clinical from OpTic for them to go for the 3 heaven drop.
Get out of my way.
Look at this Victor dash. After he gets onto the box, just jumps for it. And then he gets the kill and spots both down in dark.
Charges.
Marv is able to easily deal with them with some utility from Finesse thrown into the mix.
He will be their nightmare.
That was a heavy investment. The ultimates that we were talking about were used. But again, that stopped the bleeding. OpTic are able to, at least for now, keep the streak at bay. You see the ult out from Aaron. He was actually back in spawn.
Easily checked on by Marv.
Paranoia out across mid. Ness pushing his way forward as the smoke conceals him for the time being.
Again, 5 players here, essentially in mid. They're just a couple watching the extremities, but they're grouped up. And again, Crashes throws that flash. This time, OpTic is going to go exploring down C long, and if XSET wait too long.
Yeah, we're gonna have a fight on our hands. CJ uses a flash of his own. Ultorb goes in favor of Crashies, so now they have that Seekers online. So they got what they wanted. They took the space, they got the Ultorb, and then they can back up.
And I really actually like that they're not pressing the advantage. A missed shot from Ye. But they also don't tell XSET that we have this space entirely. I mean, obviously, you can tell that they get the Ultorb, but in the moment, very difficult.
Have they given it up? Have they committed to it? You see the Seekers are coming in from behind, but XSET again push their way forward. Ye's not able to get a second shot out with that operator, but Cryo makes his sing. Victor playing up top, Def with the spike planted. 5v3 here in favor of XSET. How do OpTic play this? Victor's able to take care of Aaron. Cryo dancing around, trying to find some space.
They don't have the tools this time with FNS missing to go for that dash, to go for the dive out of heaven. They're waiting for a flash from Crashies, but that might just be too little.
Stop.
Flash. Victor was not able to take flight. He was grounded instantly as the time just continues to tick away. And they're just going to live to fight another day.
XSET chip into it a little bit more. And it's very important there that OpTic recover the op. And that Victor gets away with his weapon as well. Because that was a reset round. Whenever you're in these situations where one team has a bank and one team is trying to stop the streaks from going on, if you lose a round after you win a round, your loss bonus evaporates. So you won't be able to buy easily in the next few. So that's exactly why they're making that decision. Erring on the side of caution. Playing some optimal VALORANT.
Rolling Thunder for Def here. VCJ 1 point away from having his Seekers online. It's a slow look here. See the smoke start to come out. Oh, this is vintage. This is what they show us, but it's Marv who's holding the op here. He's able to get a kill. Spike still planted. BCJ playing on the other side of the smoke. Let's see what this retake attempt looks like. BCJ, oh, he was pushing forward. He was trying to find something, but Victor was ready to greet him. Second tries to find it as well, and no, nothing doing. OpTic with the numbers advantage. Finesse on the tap. Cryo has to push his way forward. He's looking for a gun. He's looking for anything that he can use to try to play spoiler here, but I don't know that he's going to be able to do it. It's going to have to be on Aaron, and no, he fails as well. OpTic get to 12.
And that was a phenomenal round from Crashies.
Match point.
And Marved as well. The call to go for the double op too, and they're sticking with it. Ye had his tour de force in that round. They just pick up cryos and say, yeah, let's continue. This is not a tool set that's been in OpTic's arsenal until this event. Copenhagen is the first time they're going for this with consistency. And he turned his Trailblazer there after he missed the fact that there was a player in the smoke and came back and stunned him. And that costed BCJ his life. So now, XSET with their final timeout. And now they have a huge road ahead. 5 rounds in a row when match point is in grasp for OpTic.
Yeah. I mean, you have to play perfect just to get to overtime. Yeah, pretty brutal spot here for XSET. I love what you're mentioning on the side of XSET because it is worth noting they're still trying to make plays, right? You talk about BCJ playing the smoke. You talk about Second trying to find some space in there as well. So they're looking to play aggressively. They're not sheepishly taking a step back. But it doesn't, at least in that round, it didn't seem to matter. OpTic take control right back.
I really also love the fact that they're going for this double op right now because Ye has been struggling to find value with the op on this defensive side so far. But when you add that element of having Marv op at the same time, XSET now have to spend their only drone ability in the Trailblazer to push off an op, and there's 2 of them. This is a great way to pick apart this composition that XSET have.
And also, I mean, what can Marv do, bro? He's opping now, putting people on notice. I don't know that that flash got any info.
Both of them
Got
pink.
your trail.
Rolling Thunder, Seekers, Crashies with a whole lot in his lap. Second has gotten across. They're going to try to push their way forward, but here's the thing. OpTic have reinforcements a bit earlier than they normally do. Victor waiting on the other side. Some of that utility's already been used, and there's a little bit of a gap. There's no dashing forward. This breach. Marv still playing up top.